Okay, so I'm home. It's 3 o'clock, but I got home like at noon, and it was really quick. And I was leaving early because it was supposed to be like well over 100. I think it was supposed to be 100. It was supposed to be 107, 109. I swear I heard 114. But it could have been like it's supposed to be 107, but feel like 114. And then when I got home, I checked because over here it's like rainy, like it's so overcast. So I checked to see if it was going to rain, and there popped up and it said it was 103 heat, like a heat emergency alert or whatever, when they do that. And um, and it was so weird too when we went because I put in my thing into navigation, and I thought it was taking me the same way I came, and I forgot that it takes me up this other way. So weird. If I put in the address from here, it takes me one way. If I put in my address from over to go the other way, come home, it takes me a whole different way. I was like, that is so weird. Is it like I don't even understand it. But I hadn't been on this way that I went in a long time. And I think it's up like by Okanagan or something. It's all through the mountains. And when I had left, I had just gotten gas. And then, so I had like my route planned out where I was going to get gas and stuff. And so I was supposed to be going through, I thought I was going to be going through, what is that little town called? It's this little German town. And then I was going to go up Stevens Pass. And Stevens Pass, I swear, is the easiest pass to cross out of here. And I keep wanting to say Luxembourg, but it's not called Luxembourg. But anyways, I thought I was going that way, and I knew how much the gas was because I just went, and I was figuring like where I would stop. And then I start going, or I'm going, and all of a sudden I realize like I'm going uphill, and then I see a sign that I thought, that's weird. I didn't ever notice that before. Like, this leads to Okanagan or something. And so then I was like, oh shit. I wonder if I've gone the longer way. But I was like, it still is only saying 6.5 hours to get home. And the speed limit was way higher. It was like 55 or 60 most of the way. Whereas the other one, when I went, it was like 45. There was a zillion roundabouts. I was like, I was thinking I didn't want to do that way. But then I told my daughter I was going to take the freeway back, and she's like, oh, no way. Crossing the pass is so intense when you've got like 5 lanes, all these people going so fast. It's just, it's wild. And so then I was like, yeah, I really don't want to do that. That is so intense. I'm just going to go the back way again. But I was still thinking, oh, I'll just take, get there 45 minutes or whatever. But it said 6.5 hours I would be home, and I was going to be home at noon. And so I was like, it'll be fine. I'll just, take my time and not worry about it. Which it said I was going to get here at 12:21, and then I got here at like 12:26. I couldn't believe it didn't have any change, just stopping and getting gas. Well, I get lost one time too, and that's why I'm wondering if it like glitched and took me on another direction, because on the one part it was all the same. I don't know where it switched, where all of a sudden I was going to the different pass. And when going to that one though, oh my gosh. So as soon as I realized like, oh shit, it says 100 miles for the net for, I was on this road for 100 miles. I'm like, there was not a road that I was on for 100 miles when I went before. The longest one was 72 miles. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I've gone the other way. And there's this really cute little town called Winthrop. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. You should look it up. And so I was thinking, oh, that well, it took me a while to put it all together to finally figure out. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm up in the mountains now. There's not going to be any gas stations or anything. And I didn't stop and get gas because I thought I was going to be getting at this other place. So I was having a trust fall with my guides, and they were telling me You know, it's going to be fine. And one thing too, I noticed, especially on this trip, so much communication through numbers. And so you'll develop your own number system or whatever to be able to tell if it's positive, like if they throw a certain number at you, all of a sudden, you know, you're thinking about something and you look over and you see that number and how it gives you a feeling, if it gives you a feeling of positive or negative. And so it's like the universe speaking to you, like, yep, you're doing good. You're on the right way, you know. I left my water someplace. Oh, that was one thing, man. All weekend, being somewhere, I was like setting something down, especially at my mom's. There's so much stuff. And then you try and find your thing, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't find something. And it could be so frustrating. And it was frustrating because it was just so hot. Oh my God, it was miserably hot. And but so that drive was so beautiful. Oh my God. I'm like, I want to do that drive all the time, but you can only, it's one of those that you can only go certain times of the year. So in the winter, this is one of those roads that's closed off up there that you can't, or certain parts are closed off or something. You can't go up there and just drive. I think that's like one of those things where you see those movies where the people go and they drive and then they're stuck out and they try and get through a snowstorm to get somewhere, and then it ends up that snowstorm closes that road down and there never is any more traveling to that road and they'll be stranded. That's a true story on, like, I think 2 different ones. I think one was like in Sweden and I think one was in America or something. But that has happened a couple times. It's like if you're traveling up in the mountains, don't try and, especially in snowstorms and stuff, especially if you know a road is not year round, is that's you really get trapped up there. I couldn't believe for so long there were no gas stations or no services, and I drove right up into a forest fire. Right when I was like, I don't know, I think I'd been gone like an hour and it was already so hazy. And then I kept thinking, man, it's so smoky out. And then it kept having such a strong smell. I was like, oh my gosh, this is smoke. There's fire somewhere. And so I texted my daughter if she would look and see where the fires were, because I didn't want to, because before she's driven and had to turn around. So I wanted to know if it was at the pass, even though I was asking about the wrong pass. So I was asking her about this other pass. And I didn't get her message at first because I kept losing service all throughout this drive. But when I had seen it, she said that no, but I had gone this other way and drove right through one. And it got smokier and smokier. There was a period of time like it was super smoky. Then it kind of cleared. And then I thought, oh, maybe I've already driven past it or something. But then it got way worse. And then there was a sign up and it said, I don't remember if they said wildfires or forest fires, fires in progress. Do not get out of your car for the next 10 miles. And these roads, mountain roads, are so twisty and turny and all over the place. And one cool thing about that pass too, even though it's so long and so intense, it was reminding me kind of Mount Rainier, was that it's one lane. And so that is also in Mount Rainier. So you're not like, there's turnouts and stuff for slow vehicles because there's lots of campers and stuff. So, but you don't want to be going super fast through some of these roads anyways. I think people get too confident, and there's lots of motorcycles and they're speeding through there. So many campers and stuff. But the smoke, oh my gosh. There was some parts, it was so thick of smoke. And you could smell it so strong, and there was so much smoke. And then as you would be driving, there was like, they weren't army people, but they weren't regular fire truck people. It was like, I don't know, some forestry thing or something. But they had all these trucks and stuff like sitting there. So I don't know if there was people in fighting the fire. They were just trying to block people from stopping along this route or what. And I don't know where the fire was or anything. All I know is it was super smoky and super, you could smell it. It was so strong. Um, but anyways, I got through the whole thing and got here. And, it was like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. I just got a message sent to me from, I don't know, some probably a Democrat thing, because they still send me stuff. Doesn't matter how many times I opt out of all this political bullshit. Um, but it says Joe's given up on that race. And also, I think it was yesterday, Joe came out and said that he's the puppet for Barack. And this is kind of strange. It showed old footage of Joe. This is a different video of Joe, the real Joe, not this fella, the real Joe doing a speech, and he starts saying, "Yeah, Barack got AIDS tested," and when you see the thing, you can tell like he did not want him to say this, and he's saying, and it's like, does he even like him and stuff? Like, it's very strange. And then yesterday when I was talking to my mom about the puppet master thing, and she was saying there has been a lot of this stuff saying that Barack hates Joe and Joe hated Barack, and then now this footage showed where it was like he was totally exposing him, and then Barack jumps in at the end. Well, I just want to put that out there that Michelle knew, and she was, I don't remember if he said she was tested too or whatever, but she knew or whatever it was. But he was keeping the story going in the way Joe was saying. It was like, in our community, in this community, that there's no shame in getting tested. In this community, he kept saying in this community, in this community. It's like, what community are you talking about, dude? Obviously the gay community. And so anyways, there's like more and more stuff exposing that kind of stuff. And I don't know how many times, we heard, or we just turned that shit off. We had other things to do, or we heard him say it and we just were like, just didn't register. So now though, there's so many things that it registers, so many people, like so many people are talking about Michelle, my mom. It's funny too, because when she talks to her friends now and stuff, and she knows a bunch of stuff, and so like she's known about Michael for a long time, and she's got friends just now finding it out, and so she's like, oh yeah, and I can tell them. I think it makes her feel good, that she is on top of some of the stuff, that she's noticing these other people just starting to realize it. And so that's how that kind of works. Must be having a dream. That's how that kind of works, though. So, everything is like this rippling out. Everything is like rolls, and whoever comes into your stuff with what information is supposed to. And it ended up so on the thing. We had to stay away from the religious talk, even though there was a bunch of times that still, if I talk about anything about the future, see, it doesn't match her thing. And so if I say anything, but there's a few things that it's very strange, because it's almost like which way is it, Mom? Because like she went to the doctor to get a physical, and did all these labs and all this stuff, and she's perfectly healthy. Like I said, all her friends are like, oh my gosh, you don't even look like you're 50, and her hair's turning back natural, and her skin is looking good, everything. And she said that it's the energy. She said she can't even believe how good she feels with the energy. She said she noticed that like right off the bat. But so her doctor told her she had like a couple hundred or another 100,000 miles in her. And but what is the point in doing that if you're getting raptured? Like, who cares if you're healthy? If you're getting raptured, you're just out. Like, however, And so everything, I talked about with the future, it's like, well, that would be nice, except for I won't be here because of the rapture and all this stuff. But then we'll be at something else, and we'll be talking about it, and she'll be talking. So I just think that there's so many things that people don't just take all this stuff and put it together and think it through. They think, I believe this, I believe this, I believe this, but you gotta think it through and look at things more clearly. Because something has got to start, you know. I don't know. I said that the religious people, I've said for a long time, are going to have some of the hardest time. They have got a really hard program they're breaking free from. And it's got this default program to tell you if they try and break you free from this program that they're lying and you can't trust them. So they just flip back into their program and flip back into their program, and it holds them back. But they have to see that for themselves, and if they don't, you know, you can go to your life review and then see it. But then you're still in this level of repetitiveness in the game, I guess is all I could say about it. It's like you can't leave out of the game because you still got to learn stuff because you didn't learn. You gotta learn it. And so they're I was thinking, I go over and over this stuff on the rapture stuff in my mind. Like, is this gonna be all, like, will it be all these religious people? Because they are so trapped in this concept of a savior, and that they need to go through some more lessons, and so they'll all leave together so that they can go learn these lessons together. I mean, that could be. I know that the people who rapture out or leave, or, you know, the harvest, and see, to me, the harvest of the souls are the souls that are moving forward. And so the ones that aren't would be, you know, that they're not going to go through this part of healing, or they're not here to be the seeders of the new age. And so, you know, it's just a lot of variables on all the different things in the different, with all the different people and stuff. So, and there's, I think, you know, I know everybody gets super triggered when, you know, there's a lot arguing going on, a lot of different stands on different things, as we are all processing how we feel about things and how we look at things and what we think, especially if you're trying to think for yourself. And so we are all going through this process of awakening or realization. And so, what was I going to say? Because it's, I can't think of what I was going to say. Last night was a really rough night sleeping too. I forgot when I sleep on my daughter's couch in her living room that her cats just wander around all night. And my mom, she's got the cats, but the room I sleep in is separate, so they wander around. Like when I slept downstairs, well, not slept downstairs, jumping and all, oh my God, it was so noisy. But this room is to the side, and it has these fans on and stuff, so you don't hear all the cat noise. But sleeping right in the living room on the couch with them, oh my God, they're just walking across me in the middle of the night, jumping around. The dogs are going on high alert, jumping up and barking, and it's like, oh my God. I remember I did this before and got no sleep. I forgot about this. And I just need to get, I don't know, my own, either a camper or a rental or something, so that I can have my own space when I go and visit. And then also, well, the dogs really like to be at my mom's with all those animals. And Max was really good with the cats. He kept going out. He was very interested in them. Like, he really wanted to go up and touch noses, sniff their butts, and all that stuff. And Stella tries to do, like, play games like it's a dog. I'm like, Stella, cats don't play like that. Oh, there was one, my daughter was trying to talk about these two cats that she has. And she was talking about this one is so spooky. It's like it's reading your mind or something. Oh, she's standing there. And so I was saying, something I had seen about was that something about cats don't even, there's no DNA like it or something, and they are some sort of alien creatures, and they came back during like Egypt or something to, I don't know, learn from us, live amongst us, teach us or something. And I don't even remember all the stuff that was talking about this weird stuff with cats, but I'd only gotten like that far in, and my mom interrupts me. She's just like, no, they're created by God. It's just like, okay. Just like, uh, again, I just don't know how they're going to wrap their minds around some of this stuff. And it just seems like, I swear I couldn't believe it. As soon as I got over there, it was just like so much was going on. Like, if you don't know what's going on in Bangladesh, like, oh, it's got so much going on. At my mom's, all of them, all their house phones had gone down, and they had people texting like, does anybody know what the house phone is down for? Why the landlines are down? And I say there was more things. There's been a lot of signs that there's a lot of shifts, things going down, coming back up. Airlines, like all these airlines, they were canceling their flights. And there was some big scenes and stuff where like, we're not giving you anything, because this is this part where we separate from the corporation, from the people who don't care about our business. They just want to take from us and stuff. I was thinking about the other day, like how crazy it is, how cheap airline tickets used to be, and the seats were bigger, and they treated you like you were royalty if you flew. They were feeding you, giving you food and snacks and stuff. Because I used to fly back and forth from Texas to California, and I did it on, I think it was Southwest back then. There wasn't 10 tons of our airlines back then either. And it's like we had Southwest, Braniff, and then I think Braniff went bankrupt. I don't even know. There's all this shady shit that always goes with the corporations, buying and selling each other, changing LLC to corporation name, all this bullshit. It just, this just moving money all the time. And on a larger scale, and then even on the Wall Street scale, like they're manipulating that stuff. So they are pushing where they want it. And I don't know, I think sometimes they do try and like crash it if it's something that like we believe in or something. Like they try and, I wonder if that's what that whole point was about that GameStop. Because it was something about when that went down with GameStop, which that was a big thing. Like that made a big, those people made an impact. But they were taught, there was something I had heard when they were talking about that, was that they, how they do this on purpose to these businesses, and that they, like they'll drive businesses out and stuff. And so when they did that whole thing with the GameStop thing, they were trying to like mimic the same behaviors to do it back to them, and then it worked. Whoever had thought of that whole thing and said, because I think they were trying to crash GameStop or something, and then they said, got everybody go in and buy, and they all built it up, and those people were dumping it or something. I don't remember. I don't know all the bullshit with how Wall Street works, but anyways, that was impactful. And I think that was a part of us being able to see our power. And so you have a whole group of people who have seen that stuff, but there is all of these different things happening, because I saw somebody showing something with all these different, still with the Wall Street thing, but all those different corporations, how much their stock is worth. And everything, all of the little things were all yellow and going down, which I think that is like kind of high alert. I think when it goes to red and it's like, maybe that's when they say, oh, we're in big trouble. But we've got the signs all over it in all these different countries. Like everything is going. And I just saw, let me think where it was. Oregon. Oh, weird. Because it is so overcast. Just out of the blue. And, well, I wasn't here, but still, it's not supposed to rain. And it's supposed to stay sunny. Um, but I could notice this shadow. Like, there's this giant shadow. Like, the color is different. Like, if you really examine the sky, you notice, like, when I was a kid, it was all blue. And now it's like there's shadows and stuff up there that make a certain part darker. But so when this footage, this guy just got in Oregon, and he was trying to show, he was saying Nibiru or Wormwood was so huge. So huge. It was the same as that other footage I had seen that one day where it had half of it, like it was like at the horizon, and half of it was showing. I was like, where's the other half? And this was kind of like that. Like you could see this other part, almost like it was a rainbow. And I think that some people look at that and think, oh, look at that rainbow. It's so weird. It's kind of dark underneath and stuff. Because it had like this rainbow kind of luminary kind of colors, like around the arch of the circle of this thing. But it was huge. And what he was showing also was that there was this lightning storm, and he was saying it's coming from the Nibiru or Wormwood or whatever. He says coming from that. He said we don't get lightning storms over here. And right when he was showing it, a lightning came down and hit the electric thing. He was like, oh man. And so anyways, if there's some battling, if maybe this is it. Maybe this is going to be the thing. You know, Nibiru is going to come popping through the sky, and we're all going to see it, and that's going to wake people up, and it's going to be all over the news and stuff. I don't know. But, man, some of these parts where you see it, it's fucking close. Back in 2015 or whatever, when I was getting pictures of it, it was way further away. Way further away. Like, it's way close. Like, it looks like it's... when I was looking at that video, I was like, this reminds me of that movie Armageddon. I think that was the name of the movie, where they said that this big thing was going to hit into Earth, and they were sending out, like, I don't know, Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler. I think it was like the seasoned astronaut or whatever these guys are, and Ben Affleck or whatever. Somebody's got to save the world because they got to go out there and stop this thing from hitting into Earth. So there's all this big, huge drama. And that was like old, but I think it was like trying to tell us something. Because it seems like we got this big thing coming in strong, and they keep spraying all of this stuff in the sky so people can't see it. And then those of us who say, people don't listen. And just, you know, I mean, now you can find more people at least to listen. Just 2015, oh my God. Yeah, I have people like thinking I was so ridiculous. And, but it's, you know, something's going on, and something's about to happen. And you can tell with the energy and stuff too. It just, man, it feels weird. And to me, like, I swear to God, it's just like feeling like, I don't know how it's like feeling like you have control. Feeling like you are like a cartoon and you have control. Like, but then there's like, I don't know, like I feel like I like have these parts where I'm like glitching or something. Like these weird little glitches. I'm like, that is so strange. And so that seems weird, where it kind of makes you feel like, I don't know, it's a reminder you're not really here anyways. And so that's all weird. And then I'm in like doing all that drive, and it gets so deep into my thoughts, and I don't know, it's weird because I felt like I was like doing things, not paying attention to this because like somebody else is paying attention to it, and I'm doing this, and like my overlord or something is driving me and paying attention and worrying about gas, or you know what I mean. And anytime I even would put out any kind of worry about anything, it's like, don't, this is what you're learning, how to not do this. And I was what was that? I was noted because I was learning not to stress. Oh yeah, because about how, whatever's supposed to happen is supposed to happen, and not to stress. And then it's like getting your mind into this like positive way of looking at things, which is kind of trippy because like certain things will play out exactly like how I think they're going to play out. And then on some people would say, well, you made it happen that way. But then other people would say, well, you can read the future. It's just weird. Like it's these different philosophies. And that's what I noticed so much when I talked to my mom too. It's like totally two different philosophies. So that philosophy to me is going to become obsolete. But to some of the people who hold on to it so tight, I can't say that it's going to become obsolete for every single person. To me, it will become obsolete. And I think it's going to become an obsolete character in the game. But I think it's going to be a very hard program to turn off out of yourself if you are attached to that program. And it's very controlling. It's very much always telling people how to think, and then they put them like on this hierarchy pedestal, like you're better than other people, you wouldn't do that, you're God's person and stuff. And my philosophy is like we're all here, souls learning and experiencing, and it doesn't really have the same connection as what we all think. The reason why we're all connecting now and pulling all these realities together is because this there's a point to it, there's a meaning, there's a reason, because we're going into this new age, and we, the collective that creates this collective consciousness of unity and love and all of these things, that is what moves forward. There is definitely something vibrating on the ground. I keep having this happen. I was sitting, God, it's very vibrating. Oh, because I was at, where was I? I was at my mom's or something, and I don't know. Because I just remember I said something, it was, the ground was vibrating, but then I look around, nothing's moving. An earthquake, things start moving, It's not just the ground shaking, like it's not shaking, it's vibrating. You can feel it, it's hot, it's strong. So, and God, it's weird. It feels really weird. It's like, so, yeah, it feels kind of like when somebody starts a diesel truck or something, like how you can feel it in your house. Because I was just thinking of them starting a spaceship in the ground and it vibrating, making the whole ground vibrate or something. And I was thinking, like, that would be so trippy if we start having spaceships, like we're all looking up at the sky, but every spaceship starts flying out of the ground and stuff. Which, even with that fire, and I saw these guys all lining up and stuff, I thought, I wonder if they would be doing any kind of, well, we know they're starting these things anyways, but if they're doing like controlled ones to try and, I don't think that they would be after the Sasquatch, but they could be. But they could still be fighting with giants. Like they could still be fighting with things in the forest, and out in the desert. They have people I've found on Google Earth that there's some battle going, and there's some weird thing in the middle that looks like a portal thing, and there's these tanks and stuff. So we have all these different things happening, and it's all different to me. Everything is these different realms, different realities. Like, just like how as we're all coming together, we don't all see the same thing. You can only see where your vibration is. You can only understand what you understand. And you can always open yourself to more understanding, but you have to actively, pursue understanding, actually pursue seeing more perspective. And like I was saying yesterday, is the increased view of things when you open perspective, when you try and see things through other ways or other directions or through somebody else. You try and understand a situation in a more encompassing of the entire thing. And that to me is also the start of the part of the processing. Because, like, the whole scenario with the birthday thing. And so if I would have been reactive, like before when I was more broken, and being more reactive, as soon as your feelings are hurt, then you react off of your feelings being hurt. When you are being more of processing, what was another word? Because there was another word I was thinking. Yeah, it was processing. When you get more in processing, then to me, it's like I look at it from different perspectives. I look at, well, what if this happened? Well, if I did that, you kind of play it out, and you see, like, and I can't believe how many things, when you stop and you think about it, and you look at it from other people's things, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I shouldn't say that. And but I think, well, I know for sure with me, I've been very impulsive over times when I was younger, and very reactive. So I definitely said things I shouldn't have said. But now I'm to this point of being more thoughtful and mindful about what I'm about to communicate. So I will sit and think about it, and not just jump in and be a victim to my own man, my throat, I have to keep clearing it and clearing it. But this weather is like that kind of, especially just leaving that boiling hot and then coming back to this. Like, and my mom was like, oh, you got pollen over your, because I just washed my car off. And it is so vibrating. This is so weird. And my mom's like, oh, you have pollen all over your car now at her house. I'm like, oh, I don't believe it's pollen. I believe it's poison. So anyways, going through the process and not being reactive, because sometimes when you're reactive, all you do is start more problems for yourself, more drama. And then you have to you have to dig in your heels, like, and stand firm in what you believe, and, go back and forth with somebody. And it's like, And so, I was trying to really think it through, and then try and decide. And then I kept thinking, I bet you my stepsister's not going to end up coming. And so I think it was Friday. I think it was Friday. We were trying to get a hold of her because my mom kept trying to make these plans about dinner and stuff. And my sister wanted to go out to dinner. And so I was trying to get a hold of her and see, like, what do we want to plan? Because mom's trying to get me to, she wanted me to go buy the stuff. Oh, if anybody, because my daughter was going to come over. And my mom was like, well, we can make some pasta salad. Go stop and get me some stuff. And, but I didn't want to do that because then we're going out to eat. We're not going to want to eat that. And so anyways, it was, I had to keep waiting and waiting. And that can be stressful. So if you've got, all these plans, and you're already feeling sensitive, and then this other person, you have this inclination that they're not going to come anyways, and you're trying to figure the plan out, but, it's hard when you have more people and there's other people trying to make it. And so, then she ended up that she was sick, and so she was sleeping all day. And then the next day, she was hoping that she was going to feel better in the morning, but she said she felt worse. She had some kind of stomach bug or something, and so she didn't come. And so then it just was down to my daughter and I, and we were hanging out with her. And so then, though, I had because nothing was mentioned to me. Nobody was saying anything about, like, oh, well, this is going to be going on Sunday. Hopefully you can come to that. No. And so I right away, when that wasn't being mentioned to me, I was thinking, okay, so, this is my mom. I'm going to get my feelings hurt. Well, I wasn't invited or whatever. I mean, I hadn't even made contact and said I was coming or anything. And to her, to my sister there, who was trying to, who was, the favorite child. So when she was, made her plans, and then when I talked to my mom further into the weekend, because my daughter was asking her something, as we all hung out at my mom's little above ground pool, and we're chatting and stuff, and then we got ready and went out to dinner, and the food, oh my gosh, I want to talk about this place we went out to dinner, but the so my the one sister, so my daughter was asking my mom about, you know, what was going on in her, what's going on with her. My mom was like, well, I never see him anymore, they're always busy. And so I was saying, well, that's probably why my mom was so excited too. You know, she wasn't all excited I was coming, but we did have a lot of fun, and I got to have some more real deep talks and stuff. I found out, like, her mom's body, and we were talking about that, and about how kids end up being like their grandmas. They have like, it like skips generations. That's also with your teeth too. Like if your mom wore braces but your grandma didn't wear braces, it skips a generation. So wherever you fall. So if your grandma wore braces and your mom didn't, then you will wear braces. If your mom, you see what I'm saying? It follows the pattern of your mom, of your grandma. And it's all this jumping. Everything's like this leapfrogging. But that is also a part of us learning lessons and accepting ourselves and a lot of stuff, you know, because there is a lot of stuff. And it just showed me more and more, like, how body dysmorphia. So I had body dysmorphia, and it's so crazy how so many people think that I had an eating disorder or something. It's like, no, I wasn't doing any of the stuff eating disorder people do. I was just whining and crying because I kept thinking I was really fat, and people kept looking at me and thinking I was really skinny. But I was telling my mom, it's weird because when you're inside your body, you don't see it the same way as other people see it from the outside. And when she was hearing some of my perspectives, what I was going through and stuff, again, she was having a lot of compassion, and like, she had no idea of, you know, that kind of stuff. And so, well, you know, there was some good stuff. Oh, and another thing too, she had told me, is that she had been going through all her own old photo albums, and she was going through a lot of processing and realizing how weird time is, and just going through a lot of stuff. And I was seeing, like, see, that is what the universe does. It gets you to be drawn to go in and, you know, well, I really need to do something about those photo albums. I gotta clean that up. I'm not doing anything, so I'm gonna start doing that. And you start doing it, and all of a sudden you're going through memories, you're going through processing situations. She said she'll be looking at pictures and this whole thing will come up. And so that is a part of, like, the universe giving you this healing. Everybody's getting it in all these different ways, and they don't, some people don't realize it. It's just so crazy how the Christians are so locked into such a primitive way of looking at themselves and life, and why that stays so comfortable for so many people. But, you know, that is all, you know, how all it's about is opening your mind, being able to allow there to be things that, you know, maybe don't make sense. Maybe you haven't learned everything. Maybe there's more to learn, more to understand. And then plus there's so much to learn about, like, how we've been tricked and lied to, and that we have to realize it and start, you know, making the changes, looking at things differently, and seeing, be more of an explorer, go out and research, look for things and stuff. Somebody was just doing a video saying that they don't think Cappy's real. They think that was a psyop to leak more information out, which the good thing about that would be that he wouldn't really be dead. And I think I saw more video of somebody, like, you see these people always sharing like these news clips or different clips and stuff, and these glitches happening in these people's faces and stuff. I wonder if some of that isn't like AI, or either like the computers, or them doing it on purpose so that it gets our attention, so that we start, because there is a big part of what we have to start learning to accept all these other beings, that we aren't the only thing here. this isn't just our world. There's like lots and lots of beings and stuff in this world. I think, did I finish saying about that birthday thing? Oh yeah, so I wanted to say about that restaurant. So we went to the birthday and we had fun, and so that my sister saying she was sick gave me a great opportunity to tell my mom, well, I know about the Sunday thing, so you go. And she's been having like a celebration, like her friends have all been taking her out, so like, you're in your week-long birthday celebration, so have fun with tomorrow. And I said it would be better for me anyways to be able to leave and drive with no traffic. And so I think she was just kind of waiting to see if like I was going to do that or something, leave sooner. I'm not sure. I just makes me see, how hard it is to talk to people and tell people like things, It's very vulnerable. And then, something like that can get somebody in a tight position. You got this daughter coming, you got this other daughter trying to make plans. They haven't communicated. They haven't made any plan. And so, yeah, there's going to be crosswires. And then when there's like this, in every family, there's these dynamics and stuff. There's favorites, there's black sheep, which, so there is dynamics to bring up emotion. But all that stuff is to help us learn and process and go through it. So when I was going through all of the process to get myself to, because the first reaction is like, well, I'm going to go. She doesn't care about me. She don't want to see, it's just kind of absurd and silly. It's like, why? Like, why would you have to spend your exact moment of your birthday with me? It's like, I don't feel like that. So why would I get emotionally attached to that and react to that? So that's where I can process out of it. And I can think my way through it with logic and, how do I really feel? And realizing your reactions are based on these old things where we were rejected, and but that is where the stuff comes up so you can heal it. And so anyways, it all worked out good. And then after we had sat in the pool and stuff, then we decided to go to this restaurant. Because before we were going to do like a barbecue thing, because I'm so weird about food out. And when I went with my mom, I think I already had said, like the little restaurant out by them, the little Mexican place, and we went in, there was no people. And I don't know if there was more than 2 people working. I don't know if they have to do everything. But I was like, oh, that is so weird. So that was weird. Because just watching these businesses and stuff close down. And, all these businesses failing and stuff. So we went there when I got there, and I had nachos. And then we were trying to figure out where to go for Saturday night. And so they were looking it up and found a place that wasn't too far. It was like 25 miles and or 25 minutes, like 25 minutes and 14 miles or something. And so we went to there because my mom can't drive anymore because she's too blind. And so I would drive her and then drive her back and then drive to my daughter's because my daughter wanted me to come over there and spend the night. And so we were trying to get all that stuff done and not go too far. So we went to this place, and it was an Indian trail, and nobody had been to it before, and it was cute. We sat outside. We wanted to sit outside, so we never even went in the place, but it was cute from the outside. It was big, and I'm pretty sure it was individually owned, but the one of the guys kept coming out, and well, they were all so friendly and so nice, and the food, I couldn't believe it, how good the food was. Like, both of them got shrimp fajitas. They had huge shrimp, like, it was so much food, and it looked good, like, all the quality and stuff. And I was getting some kind of potato mushroom kind of taco things or something. I think maybe it's kind of like fajitas. It was some vegan dish. And, But then when I was trying to order it, I was saying something like, well, I want the potato tacos. And my daughter was like, that's not what it is. It's called something else. And so we were sitting there talking, and this guy was listening. Well, you know, I didn't know. They were all just being friendly. So then they all go in, and then he comes out like, I don't know, a few minutes later, and it brings me this taco. And he starts telling me he's been trying to get this one on Taco Tuesday menu, and it's potato taco. And since I was interested in potato taco, he wanted me to try this taco, and it was so fucking good. I ordered a couple more of those, and then gave my other dinner to my daughter for her lunch for tomorrow. So I didn't ever even get to taste that one, never even see what it was or what it looked like. But the potato tacos, oh my God, they were so good. And they were like mashed potato, kind of. It was like a soft kind of potato, like a red potato, or it wasn't gold potato. I would think kind of like a red potato. It could have been like a white potato. Definitely more like a soft skin, like that kind of potato, and kind of like, so if you cut it into chunks, kind of like small, and get kind of real mushy, so it was like mushy. It had like lettuce, and then some kind of really good sauce, and then it had some like cream sauce. They were so good, and the shell was so fried. It was so crispy and fried. I was like, oh my God, that's so good. My daughter tried them too, and she was like, I think this is like a favorite spot now. This place is so good. And the guy was coming out and talking to like every single family or big group, all the people who were leaving. He'd walk out with them and chat and talk. I was like, this guy's got to be the owner. Like, he's so, I mean, he makes you want to come back because he's so nice. And he's like, I don't know. I was like, this is the kind of places like we want to have. Like, you get really good food, and the prices weren't up. I mean, it was almost like we went into some kind of other world or something. Even my mom wanted a margarita, and then she's like, well, I'll just have a little tiny one, just a little one. And she's like, well, we don't really have a little one. And so they're trying to come up with something. Well, you could get one and you could split it and stuff. And I was like, I don't want one. And my daughter doesn't drink. And so my mom's like, well, I'll just, you know, and the girl starts telling her, well, we got a Cadillac one. It's not very big. And that's just kind of small. And so my mom's like, okay, well, I'll have that. And so then my mom's like, oh, I don't know how much it is. And my daughter was looking on the menu, I think, and saw, she says, only, it's $11. And she couldn't believe it because all the other places are like $15, $18 for margarita. My mom just couldn't believe how much they jumped up because she'd be like, remember when they used to be like $3? And now it's like 18 bucks. So when they came, it was one of those great big like fishbowl. It was huge for 11 bucks. And so I said, it looked really citrusy and stuff. So I said, I want to taste it. And I tasted it. It was like so strong. Like, oh my God. It was the same thing. Like the shrimps in the food were like these big shrimps. I'm like, man, this place is not trying to be like all chintzy. And I said, you know, I get really weirded out about going out and eating because all of the, I don't think places are clean. I don't think they give a shit. I think we got people who are just like working in places. Yeah, everything is going crazy. Like, I mean, all the roaches are going crazy, like taking over the restaurants or something, you know. It's like that kind of energy. It is still vibrating, like super hard too. This is weird. It feels really weird. I feel like my whole body's like vibrating. Like the ground's, it's like the ground's alive or something. Well, it is alive, but God, this feels weird. You know, my floor is not on the ground. They're subfloored. So it's like, what is reverberating? And it's not doing it so hard as making any, and there's nothing moving in the house except for their nostrils snoring. But there's nothing moving. God, it's weird. There's so much weird stuff. Everything is so weird. So, But there's tons and tons of stuff going on, which I'm just really hoping that all these little things going down, because there was this whole thing about when things go down, they'll go down temporarily and then they'll come back up and it will keep coming up on the news system. And the things that won't come up on the news system will be the things that like corporations and stuff that are scheming and skeezy. And I was wondering, I wonder if that's some of the dramas at the airports. There's going to be more and more of all this stuff, because the new system is not going to include these people who are corrupted. And I don't know if the quantum system is so alive and we are connecting to it. Maybe you can't connect if your vibration's low. Maybe you have to get your vibration up high enough so that you can connect. Maybe that's why a lot of the people leave, because they can't carry on in the game because they can't get to that level. You know, we're in this leveling up in the game. And so, and anytime, I'm not a gamer or anything, but I watch people, you know, obsess over games and stuff, and I'm seeing how it works. It is just vibrating harder and harder and harder. Like, this is so weird. So weird. That would be so cool though if all of a sudden a spaceship just busted through, knocking houses down, coming up from the ground, and they were coming up in all different cities at the same time. And all the people were freaking out, like, oh my God, we're being invaded, ground invaded. It's not even space invaded. They're coming in because that is space. Everything that is open space is space for a reality in a realm. And we're always creating space. And every time a space is created, there's more opportunity for more experience. And some of the things that it already is experience, there's experiencing itself, but you aren't open to it because you don't see it. You're not paying attention. But the experience is in that. That is how it's its own reality, its own realm, because it is already present in an experience. It just doesn't have you focused on it, so you don't know it exists, but it already is existing. So there's like, I keep saying everything is like realms and realities. And, you know, we get caught up in thinking of cities and states and rules and laws and corporations and all this stuff. But everything is just these realities of existence. And there's something that was making me think, what was that? Because it was something like people could be in like the same area having completely different experiences based on their vibration. So somebody could be telling you everything's going wrong at this place, and somebody else telling you, no, everything is going right. Oh yeah, what was that? Because all this stuff is going down. Oh yeah, so if they're taking all this stuff down, because it was supposed to be on a Friday that things would go down, and then we would see on a Monday. So hopefully that is what we have, that this will be our Monday, and there's going to be a lot of stuff like Joe, sayonara, however his exit plan works. More exposing Barack, but Barack, that guy's been gone too. I mean, this is just an exposing person, because there was all this stuff about that he, I guess they, when after their trial, or after their, what do they call them? 'Cause it's not just called trial, not testimonial, whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about, where these people have to go before these military judges over these crimes, that they're committing crimes against humanity, all this kind of stuff, that they get a choice over how they want to go out. This is one with the squad, and there's I think there's one or two other ones. Is I'm pretty sure Barack chose this, and I can't remember. There was some video a long while ago that had said that a couple of the people who had already gone, like him, Hillary, Joe, McCain, like a few different, like a lot of different people, like they're still going all the time, I think, that what they chose. how they wanted to go. So uh, I guess he had a choice. It's not just one thing. Like, well, no matter what, you're getting this. Like, you can say, well, I'd rather be hung. And I guess I'll do that. Like, I don't know. I guess we'll find all that stuff out when we start getting to find out more. But still, it seems like the whole thing that is weird, though, is there's so much stuff going on that's going to be making all these changes. But at the same time, we have all this weird stuff like in the sky, the ground's vibrating. This is weird. That's so weird. If I touch it with my hand, I can't feel it, but I can feel it coming up through me from the ground. I got my feet are sitting on the ground and I can feel it. But it's weird. Anyways, I've been talking a while. Let's see, what else was I gonna say? I don't really know that much going on at my mom's. There's no service. Like, so even if you try and watch any TikToks, that it takes them forever to download. They'll start and then they just stop. And that's why nothing was downloading. And then, when I went to my daughter's last night, the video I had been trying to download, you must have done it real quick because I just was like, well, I'll just plug in my phone and let it do it. It'll do it sometime at night. But then later, not very long later, I checked my phone and it had gone through. But it wasn't fast enough for the other one the other day. That one took a long time. But anyways, those ones got on. I got home. It's just weird. The schedule did go like what I was saying. And so was I seeing it or did I create it? So interesting. Is it the chicken or the egg? That's what I find fascinating. Not the chicken or the egg, but do you create it or do you see it? I think that is interesting. And I think it's a hard thing to prove. Like, which way? If you're creating it or if you're seeing what's going to happen. Because to me, it always seemed like I was seeing what was going to happen. But there's definitely been times and situations where I'm like, I wonder if I made that happen that way by how I saw it happening. So if I saw it was going to be this way, so I made it go that way. I don't know. I think that maybe as we elaborate or we become better at this stuff, and then we kind of like investigate for ourselves to try and, notice, is it, that's interesting because if you wrote it down or just whatever, if you just wanted to think of it, but not stay continuously think of it, but you just looked at it, saw how you thought it was going to go, and then you didn't keep feeding that energy, and then you just let it play out. Because I think like that's what I'm doing, is like I'm aware of it, not just because you can't chase something, you can't make things happen. Things are going to happen the way they're going to happen. And things are happening by destiny. It's like it's already set. And so I don't know if you weren't just focused on it thinking how it was going to turn out, and then you just how it turned out, if it ended up being how you see it. So I don't know, maybe that's a part of what my thing is going to be because there's all these things that I see, but I don't talk about them because I would just sound too crazy. But then once they start happening, then I will tell, more about it, like the process. Because there is a process. When you're told something by your guides, I think that people will fight their guides back. Well, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I can't do that. And that's what I'm saying. You'll stay on that lower timeline until you trust them. Until you say, okay, I'm listening, I'm trusting. And you go towards this other timeline where you can choose to go towards victim or you can choose to go towards success. Whatever the success is, that's where you can get in interference, where you get an idea of what you think success is. So you try and push on that. But there's something in your internal soul that finds success from something. But that's where you have to learn how to trust the universe. So it takes you on that journey to that success story, your own success story. What is that song? It's like a Sammy Davis Jr. Um, Wanna Be Me. I sing this song all the time. I can't. I Wanna Be Me, but there's this line in it of, well, there's a few lines in it, but he wants to stay focused on the things he sees for his future, the good future, the success and stuff. And that to me is so true. That is when you're on that timeline where you are valuing yourself. You see that you have value. You see that you can be successful, and you go towards that. You don't interfere with what the guides are pushing you to do or whatever. And that is this trusting, this is this building this relationship with the universe. So but I'll talk more about it when some of the stuff that I've seen, once it starts going. I think it'll start going once things start turning. I think that's when we're really going to start seeing a lot of like magic start to happen. That's when we'll know things are turning in our favor, which to me it already is turning in our favor. Like I can already see it. And like there's just constant communication through the numbers and stuff. And it looks like they're just right there, talking to you the whole time. And so I think that once this stuff, whatever is going to go down this pole shifting thing, when everything turns the other direction, a lot of good things are going to start happening. And then some of this stuff, I feel like I would make more sense when I say it. But then I think that is also, it would be kind of like clarity too. Like, do you make this happen, or does it happen and you're just listening to what they say is going to happen? Or sometimes people don't listen and fight against it, and then they even start thinking they're crazy for even having crazy thoughts. It's like, that's communication from the universe. You're not crazy just because you can hear that stuff. And you got to learn how to trust that stuff, not fight against it. What do you think that the universe is trying to do? Trick you? Like take you in the wrong direction? You're the one who keeps pushing to go in the wrong direction. The universe keeps trying to get you on track. So there's a lot of distraction here. There's a lot of, it's like a lot of stimulation, a lot of pulling you out of focus all the time. So the universe wants you to focus on you. The universe wants you to go towards your best timeline. And I can't think of all the communication and stuff that, like, what they were telling me today in the thing, but it was like, oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like, they really want you to go towards you and believing in yourself and not getting caught up in thinking, like, I mean, there's success stories where if you don't even appreciate your success, if you keep thinking, well, I'm not successful because that guy over there, he's got it all, he's the success story. You got to see what you're here to do, what you're here to be successful about, not compare yourself. That's a part of the programming you got to break free from, is this comparing ourselves to other people, which is hard. It's easy to compare yourself to other people. It's like trying to figure out, like, yourself. Who are you? Like, and so, but that we're doing that too. That's a part of the awakening and setting your moral compass. But when you're doing it, you just got to remember, you don't judge the other people and think like they have no value. They made a mistake. They have no value. They're worthless. It's like, no, they're just all souls here learning, and everybody has the same value. And you have got judgmental problems. If you can't allow other souls to go out and learn and experience, then you have got a problem. So that's why we as souls become advanced, like the wiser souls, the ones who can sit in wisdom and allow everyone else to gain access to the wisdom through experience. And so sitting back and not trying to control others, but allowing others to understand themselves, to learn how to control themselves, to learn how to get to a place where they want to be, not where we think that they would do well or where we think that they should be, but for them. But so many people, they've got to, get tuned into themselves. It's, I think most people have got no problem finding themselves to talk smack on them, talk down to themselves and put themselves down. But you gotta learn how to build yourself up, learn how to love yourself, to learn the things that you're good at so that you can feel good about it. See like what you have skills and then elaborate your skills, work on your skills so that you can feel good about like the things that you can accomplish. And so, because everybody has them. It is fucking still vibrating. Like, it's weird. Maybe that is, maybe shit's gonna go down. Seems like the sun is becoming strong. I don't know. Everything seems weird. Seems so weird. So, I don't know. I think I'm kind of, maybe I'll be more clear tomorrow or something. But anyways, I've been talking a lot. It's been a long day, a long drive. Unpacked, got stuff cleaned up. So, but I wanted to get this in because I said I was going to do it. And so I wanted to get this in, but I'll be back in the morning and then I'll probably talk more with more clarity or something because it seems like I keep having these, like there's a lot of stuff, but maybe things will already be going down. And that's the thing, is like anything can go at any time. Like, and in Bangladesh too. Oh yeah, because it's turning into a civil war there. But there's going to be places that are going to have that happen. And that can be one of those places too. Like I said, there's going to be a whole bunch of people are going to leave at once. There's going to be a lot of those kinds of things. A lot of situations. There just keeps being multiple people, all these, lots of all the stuff. Everything, every exit is going to be being filled up right now. And lots of people are going to be leaving together. And so we just got to keep going through this. And then there's going to be this big event thing, and that's going to get everybody to look at everything differently. And that's when everything starts really changing. But we have a lot of things that are going to be changing too. There's a lot of psychics now saying there's not going to be any of those things in November. I've been saying that for a long time. I don't see that either. There's not going to be one. This is the end of the old system. End of people standing over us telling us what to do. But it's the building up of a new one, and people taking responsibilities in their communities and going out and getting involved and start living their dreams, living their best lives instead of living this enslaved, sickly, beat down victim. Oh yeah, this person was just talking about that this something with some virtual world or something, and she was saying all the people look like hell, but their person, that their virtual person looks really good. And she's like, I just don't understand. What is the point of making a character that you like how they look instead of working on yourself? How is that, like, you have to go out in person and then people don't even know who you are because you don't look anything like this. She was just carrying on about it. I was like, that's how I think too. I don't understand. It's like, I don't understand how the mindset. I don't understand, like, if it is some sort of philosophy that all these people have or whatever. Everybody's here to play these different roles and these different things for us to all see and witness. And it's all about expansion. It's all about us learning and growing. But we have to also remember to be open to it, to be opening our minds, allowing more information, not being reactive, processing through, being mindful, taking our time. And then you do see when you don't react and start a fight with somebody, because that could have turned out really sour. And then, I mean, geez, we can even talk about religion and it goes real quick. So, yeah, you start talking about real emotions and, feelings hurt and stuff. That goes, turns into a big fight real quick. So then it's like, well, there's got to be a different approach. So process through, how do I really feel? What do I really think? It really is a lot more convenient for me. Is the universe doing me a favor and then I'm trying to drag my feet and whine and cry? Well, that's because I need this trigger to release this stuff. So that's where we've got to be thankful for the triggers, not mad at the universe. How dare you do this to me? They're trying to help you out. They're trying to help you see how you can release things and let things go so you can live better and feel better and be happier and have better relationships. So, anyways, that's what I got to say about it. So, I will talk to you later about it. So, just remember what it's all about is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day because it is totally up to you. So, I'll talk to you later. Bye.